Is the ground beneath you feeling less certain? That feeling of losing your foundation is a fear we all share. But what if the path to regaining that solid strength was not in a gym, but in your bowl? The single most important insight is at the very end. Do not miss it. Inner foundation. We often speak of strength. We say, I want to be stronger, or I have lost my strength. And when we say this, our mind immediately goes to the muscles, to the arms, to the chest, and especially as we grow older, to the legs. We think of strength as the ability to lift a heavy object, to run a great distance, to push against a force, but this is a very surface-level understanding of what it means to be strong. The true foundation of strength, the kind that does not easily fade with time, is not in the muscle fibers alone. It is in the connection. It is in the quality we call rootedness. Have you ever watched a great tree in a powerful storm? The wind howls, the branches thrash and bend, sometimes they even break, but the tree itself, the trunk, it remains. It holds firm. Why? Because its strength is not in its branches. Its strength is in its roots, deep within the earth, unseen. This is the kind of strength we must cultivate in our own bodies, a strength that begins from the ground up. Our legs are our roots. They are our connection to the earth, the source of all stability. When our legs feel weak, when we feel unsteady on our feet, it is a sign that our connection has been frayed. It is a sign that our mind and our body are no longer communicating in harmony. You see, the mind plays a profound role in our physical stability. If the mind is scattered, filled with anxiety, worry, and constant distraction, it is like building a house upon shifting sands. The structure may be beautiful, but with the first gust of wind, it will tremble. The body cannot be strong if the mind is not settled. A scattered mind sends scattered signals to the body. The result is a lack of coordination, a hesitation in our step, a feeling of fragility. So, before we even speak of a particular food or a specific exercise, we must first address the soil into which we will plant the seed of new strength. That soil is our own awareness. The first step to regaining leg strength is not to go to the gym, but to go inward, to quiet the storm within our own mind, to find a place of stillness. When we are able to calm the endless chatter of our thoughts, we can begin to truly feel our body again. We can feel our feet on the floor. We can feel the subtle shifts in weight as we stand. This is not a small thing. This is everything. It is the beginning of re-establishing that deep, primal connection. This is the inner foundation. Without this, any food, any exercise is merely a temporary patch. It will not hold. We live in a world that constantly pulls our attention outward. The screens, the noises, the demands on our time and energy. All of this chips away at our root system. It makes us top-heavy. All our energy is in our head, in our thoughts, in our worries. And so, our legs, our foundation become neglected and weak. They are no longer nourished by our attention. To regain strength, we must consciously redirect our energy downwards. Imagine your attention as a gentle stream of water. For too long it has been flowing only in your head. Now you must guide it. Guide it down through your torso, through your hips, down your legs, and all the way to the soles of your feet. This simple act of focused intention is more powerful than you can imagine. It is the act of remembering your roots. It is the act of coming home to your own body. This is where all true strength begins. This is the foundation upon which everything else will be built. It is the non-negotiable first step. The desire for a quick solution is human. We want the one thing, the magic pill that will solve the problem. But the universe does not operate this way. True, lasting change comes from understanding the principle, not just applying a technique. The principle here is that of grounding, of stability. Your leg strength is a direct reflection of your inner stability. When you feel weak in the legs, ask yourself, where in my life do I feel ungrounded? Where is my mind scattered? Where am I not present? The answer to your physical weakness often lies in the answer to these questions. The body is an honest messenger. It tells the story of our inner world. By learning to listen to it, by choosing to cultivate a calm and focused mind, we prepare the ground. We create a solid foundation. And only then can we begin to speak of the nourishment that will help this new strength to grow and flourish, solid and resilient, like the ancient tree in the storm. This is the beginning of our practice. Nourishing qi. Now that we have spoken of the foundation, of the importance of a settled mind and a renewed connection to our body, we can talk about nourishment. When we use the word nourishment, we are not just talking about proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. We are speaking of something more subtle, yet more powerful. We are speaking of life force. In our tradition, we call this qi. Food is not merely fuel, it is a carrier of qi. And the quality of this qi and how we receive it determines how it will serve our body. The title of this discussion mentions one specific food. This is not to create a mystery, but to point towards a principle. The food is humble, it is simple, it is the sweet potato. And the reason for choosing it is not because of a single magical nutrient it contains, but because of its very nature. Consider the sweet potato. It grows deep within the earth. It is a root. It spends its entire life in darkness, quietly gathering energy and substance from the soil. It is, by its very nature, grounding. It is dense, it is sweet in a gentle way, and it provides a slow, steady release of energy. It does not give you a sharp spike followed by a crash. It gives you stable, enduring fuel. This is precisely the kind of energy that supports a strong foundation. In the system of Chinese medicine, the color orange and the sweet flavor are associated with the earth element and the spleen and stomach organ systems. These systems are responsible for transforming the food we eat into qi and blood, and for distributing that nourishment to the rest of the body, especially to the muscles. When we eat a food like the sweet potato, we are not just eating a vegetable. We are inviting the stable, grounding energy of the earth directly into our body. But here is the most important part, the part that is so often missed. The food itself is only half of the equation. The other half is how we eat it. You could eat the most perfect, nourishing food in the world, but if you do so while standing, while watching a distressing news report, while arguing, or while your mind is 1,000 miles away, your body will not be able to properly receive its gift. The energy of your mind, your intention, infuses the food you eat. To truly nourish your body and rebuild your strength, you must eat with presence. This is a non-negotiable part of the practice. Before you eat, take a moment. Look at your food. Consider where it came from, the earth, the sun, the rain, the people who grew it and brought it to you. Feel a sense of gratitude. This is not a religious ritual, it is an act of alignment. It prepares your body to receive. When you eat, just eat. Do not do anything else. Put away the phone. Turn off the television. Chew slowly. Experience the texture, the flavor. Imagine the grounding energy of that sweet potato entering your system. Imagine it being transformed into warm, nourishing qi that travels down through your body, all the way to your legs, strengthening the muscles, fortifying the bones, settling deep into the soles of your feet. This is mindful eating. It is a form of meditation. By eating in this way, you are directly participating in your own healing, in your own strengthening. You are transforming a simple meal into a powerful act of self-care and cultivation. The sweet potato is the vehicle, but your awareness is the driver. Without the driver, the vehicle goes nowhere. So, the one food is a symbol. It is a symbol for choosing foods that are simple, natural, and grounding. It could be a sweet potato. It could be a carrot, a beet, a squash, or a simple bowl of brown rice. The principle is to choose foods that connect you to the earth, and the practice is to consume them with total presence and gratitude. This is how you nourish the qi. This is how you provide your body with the high-quality building blocks it needs to repair and rebuild. When you combine this intentional nourishment with the inner foundation of a calm mind, you create a powerful synergy. The mind becomes calm, the body becomes receptive, and the food becomes true medicine. This is the path to rebuilding strength from the inside out, a strength that is resilient, stable, and deeply rooted in the earth itself. Mindful movement. We have prepared the soil with a calm mind. We have planted the seed with nourishing food, consumed with awareness. Now this new energy, this qi, must be circulated. It must be guided. Energy that is not used becomes stagnant. Stagnant energy leads to stiffness, pain, and weakness. The third pillar of our practice, therefore, is mindful movement. And when I say movement, please do not immediately think of a strenuous workout, of lifting heavy weights, or running until you are breathless. The movement I speak of is far more subtle and in many ways far more potent for the purpose of building a deep foundational strength. It is the movement that teaches the body how to use the energy we have so carefully cultivated. It is the bridge between our inner state and our physical reality. The practice can begin with something as simple as standing. We stand all the time, but we are rarely ever just standing. We are waiting, we are thinking, we are distracted. I invite you to try this. Find a quiet space and simply stand. Place your feet about shoulder width apart with your knees slightly, softly bent. Do not lock your knees. Feel the entire surface of your feet on the floor. Feel the heel, the ball of the foot, the toes. Imagine your feet growing roots into the ground, just like the great tree we spoke of. Now, close your eyes if you feel comfortable and bring your awareness, that gentle stream of attention, to your legs. Feel them. Are they tense? Are they relaxed? Do you feel the subtle engagement of the muscles that are keeping you upright? From this place of rooted stillness, begin a very slow, very small movement. Gently shift your weight to your right foot. Do it so slowly that you can feel every part of the transfer. Feel the pressure increase on your right sole and decrease on your left. Feel how the muscles in your right leg engage a little more to support you. Hold it there for a moment. Then, with the same slow, mindful quality, shift your weight back to the center and then over to your left foot. Feel the change. Feel your left leg accept the weight. This is not an exercise in the traditional sense. This is a conversation. You are having a conversation with your body, with your legs, with the ground beneath you. You are reteaching your nervous system what it feels like to be stable, balanced, and connected. This simple practice of slow weight shifting is profoundly powerful. It wakes up the small, stabilizing muscles in your feet, ankles, and legs that have likely been dormant for a very long time. It improves your proprioception, your body's sense of itself in space. This is a critical component of balance and avoiding falls. As you do this, keep your breath slow and steady. Inhale as you shift, exhale as you settle. Your breath is the anchor for your awareness. It keeps your mind from wandering. It keeps the energy flowing smoothly. You are integrating the mind, the breath, and the body into one unified action. This is the essence of mindful movement. You are not just moving your body, you are inhabiting your movement. You can extend this practice to walking. Instead of walking just to get from one place to another, take a few minutes to walk with intention. Feel the heel of your foot, connect with the ground, then the middle of the foot, and then the ball of the foot as you push off. Feel the transfer of weight from one leg to the other. Feel the way your entire body coordinates to create this seemingly simple motion. It is a miracle of engineering and intention. By bringing your awareness to it, you transform it from an automatic habit into a potent practice of strengthening and integration. You are sending a clear message to your body and your subconscious mind. I am here, I am present, I am grounded, I am strong. This is how you circulate the qi from the food you have eaten. You are directing that nourishment to the exact place where it is needed, guided by your focused attention. This simple, gentle, consistent practice will do more to build lasting, functional leg strength than any aggressive, strenuous workout, because it builds it from the root, from the connection, from the inside out. Embracing simplicity. We have now explored the inner foundation, the nourishment of qi, and the practice of mindful movement. You may be starting to see a pattern emerging. In each step, the path to strength is not found in adding more complexity, but in embracing a profound simplicity. The world we live in glorifies complexity. It tells us we need more information, more supplements, more equipment, more apps, more biohacks. And this constant pursuit of more creates a state of chronic overwhelm. It scatters our mind, depletes our energy, and disconnects us from our own bodies. The result is a deep feeling of being ungrounded, of being weak at the core. The path to true strength, therefore, is a path of subtraction, not addition. It is about removing the things that obstruct our natural state of being. The one food, the sweet potato, is a perfect metaphor for this principle. Why one food? Because it forces a choice. It removes the complexity of deciding between 100 different superfoods. It brings us back to what is essential. By choosing simplicity in our diet, focusing on whole, natural, grounding foods, we calm our entire system. The digestive system is not overwhelmed. The mind is not overstimulated. There is a peace that comes from simplicity. This peace is the fertile ground for strength. When you are not constantly chasing the next new thing, you have the energy and the focus to go deeper into what is already here. You can master the art of standing, the art of eating with presence, the art of breathing. These are the fundamentals. And mastery of the fundamentals is where all true power lies. Think of your life as a room. The modern world encourages us to fill this room with as much furniture as possible. Every corner must have something in it. Soon the room is so cluttered that you can barely move. You feel trapped, claustrophobic. There is no space for peace, no space for clear movement. To regain your freedom and strength, you must begin to take things out of the room. You must create empty space. This is what we do when we simplify our diet, when we turn off the screens, when we choose to do one thing at a time. We are decluttering our inner room, and in that newfound space, we can finally breathe. We can move. We can feel the floor beneath our feet. We can hear the quiet wisdom of our own body. This principle of simplicity applies to every aspect of our practice. The movement is simple, just standing, just shifting weight. It does not require a gym membership or fancy equipment. It requires only your attention. The nourishment is simple, a humble root vegetable, prepared without fuss. The mental practice is simple, just be still, just be present. The power is not in the complexity of the action, but in the consistency and the quality of attention we bring to it. It is far better to stand for 5 minutes with total presence than to run for an hour while your mind is lost in 1,000 worries. The first builds true, integrated strength. The second merely exhausts the body and reinforces the disconnection between mind and body. So I ask you to look at your life. Where can you invite more simplicity? It does not need to be a radical overhaul overnight. Start small. Choose one meal a day to eat in silence, with presence. Choose one time of day to stand for 3 minutes and just feel your feet on the ground. Choose one source of noise or distraction in your life and turn it off for a short period. Each small act of simplification is an act of reclaiming your power. It is an act of strengthening your root. You will find that as you remove the unnecessary, what remains is what is truly essential. And what is essential is always a source of immense strength, clarity, and peace. This is the paradox. In letting go, we become more solid. In simplifying, we become more powerful. This is the way. The 12 hours. Now we must address the promise made in the title of our talk. Regain leg strength in just 12 hours. This is a very bold claim. And in our world of instant gratification, it is a very attractive one. But we must approach this with wisdom and clarity. Is it possible to magically and completely transform years of weakness into powerful strength in half a day? No. That is not how the body works. That is not how nature works. So, what is the meaning of these 12 hours? The meaning is not literal in the way we might think, but it is deeply practical and true. The 12 hours represent a cycle, a decision, a beginning. It is the amount of time required to initiate a profound shift. Think of the cycle of a day. Approximately 12 hours of light and 12 hours of darkness. This is a fundamental rhythm of life on Earth. The 12 hours we speak of represent the start of a new cycle in your own life. It is the period of time from one decision to its first tangible fruition. For example, you watch this discussion, you feel a resonance with the ideas. You make a decision, I will try this. For your next meal, perhaps dinner, you prepare a simple, grounding food like a sweet potato. You eat it with presence and gratitude. You have now planted the seed. Then you rest, you sleep. During this time of rest, your body goes to work. It digests the food, transforms it into chi and blood, and begins the process of repair. When you wake up the next morning, approximately 12 hours later, something has changed. The change may not be a dramatic surge of physical power. You may not be able to leap out of bed and run a marathon. But the change is real. It is a change in quality. The energy you have is different. It feels more stable, more settled. When you place your feet on the floor, and you do so with the new awareness we have discussed, you will feel a different connection. It might be subtle at first, but it will be there. You have consciously participated in nourishing and grounding yourself. You have completed one full cycle of intention, action, and integration. The strength you have regained in these 12 hours is not just muscular. It is the strength of a new pattern. It is the strength of having taken the first step on a new path. It is the strength of hope and renewed possibility. This is the true meaning of the 12 hours. It is the time it takes to break an old cycle of neglect and begin a new one of cultivation. It is the time it takes for a single mindful meal to be integrated into your system. It is the time it takes for a decision to become an experience. Every great journey begins with a single step. Every great tree begins with a single seed that sprouts. The 12-hour period is the time it takes for that first sprout of new strength to push through the soil. And once you have experienced this first cycle, once you have felt that subtle but real shift, you now have a reference point. You have proof within your own body that this path works. This initial experience is the most powerful motivator to continue the practice for the next 12 hours and the next and the next. So, do not be fixated on a magical overnight transformation. Instead, see these 12 hours as a sacred window of opportunity. It is your invitation to begin. Within the next 12 hours, you have the power to make a new choice. You can choose to eat one meal mindfully. You can choose to stand and breathe for 5 minutes. You can choose to quiet your mind and listen to your body. Make that choice. Commit to that simple action. And then pay close attention. Observe the subtle shifts in how you feel 12 hours later. This is where the magic lies, not in an instant miracle, but in the profound power of a single conscious cycle. This is how you begin to reclaim not just the strength in your legs, but the power over your own well-being. This is how the journey begins. Unifying power. We have walked a path together in this discussion. We started by looking at the ground beneath our feet, understanding that true strength is not muscle, but a deep, rooted connection, our inner foundation. We then learned how to nourish this foundation, not just with food, but with intention, with the life force of chi from simple grounding nourishment. We discovered how to circulate this new energy through mindful movement, transforming a simple act like standing into a profound conversation with our body. We saw how all of these paths lead back to a single, powerful principle, the wisdom of embracing simplicity in a world that shouts for complexity. And we have reframed the idea of a quick fix, understanding that the 12 hours represent the sacred beginning of a new cycle of self-cultivation. Now, we must bring all of these threads together, for these are not separate techniques to be practiced in isolation. They are facets of a single unified whole. The true, unshakable strength we seek arises when these three centers of our being, the mind, the body, and our energy or chi, are aligned and working in harmony. Think of it like a beautiful, powerful chord in music. A single note can be pleasant, but when three notes are brought together in perfect harmony, they create something far richer, far more moving and powerful than any single note could be on its own. Your mind is one note. Your energy from food and breath is the second note. Your physical body is the third note. When they are in tune with each other, you create a chord of personal power and stability. This is the state we are aiming for. When your mind is calm and focused, it sends clear, coherent signals to your body. When your body is nourished with clean, grounding energy, it has the resources to respond to those signals. And when you move with mindful awareness, you are consciously practicing and strengthening this harmonious communication. This is a virtuous cycle. A calm mind leads to better digestion and absorption of nutrients. Better nourishment provides stable energy, which makes it easier to focus the mind and move with presence. Mindful movement calms the nervous system and further settles the mind. Each part supports and enhances the others. This is what we mean by unifying power. It is the integration of your entire being. This strength is not just for seniors. The feeling of being ungrounded, of having weak legs, is simply a more obvious physical manifestation of a problem that affects people of all ages in our modern world. Young people feel it as anxiety, as a lack of focus, as a sense of being adrift. The principles are universal. Anyone who feels their foundation is weak, whether that weakness manifests physically, mentally, or emotionally, can walk this path. The cure for a scattered mind is the same as the cure for unsteady legs. Come back to the earth. Come back to the breath. Come back to the simple, profound reality of your own body in this present moment. Do not see this as another list of things you have to do. See it as an invitation to return to a more natural, more human way of being. A way of being that is rooted, present, and whole. The strength that comes from this practice is not aggressive or forceful. It is a quiet, resilient, and enduring strength. It is the strength of a mountain, which does not strive to be strong, but simply is. It is strong because it is unified. It is one with the earth. By practicing this unification of mind, energy, and body, you are not just building stronger legs. You are becoming a more solid, stable, and integrated human being. You are building a foundation that can withstand any of life's storms. The strength you seek is not in a distant future or a complex formula. It is beneath your feet. It is in your next breath. It is in the simple choice to be present with what nourishes you. Stand, breathe, connect. The power was never lost. It was only waiting to be remembered. Be well. I'm 72, and my legs have felt like strangers for years. After watching this, I didn't rush to the store. I just stood up. I closed my eyes and felt my feet on the floor for the first time in forever. I cried. It wasn't about the food, it was about remembering I had a foundation. Thank you for giving me my legs back, not in 12 hours, but in the 5 minutes it took to truly stand up.